let's bring in our next guest making his FT debut in what looks like some great weather. Kevin Pillar joining us right now. What's up, man? How you doing? And where you at?
Off the weather.
Yeah, are you in California?
No, Arizona.
Arizona, nice.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, and the connection's clean too. So, how you doing, dude? How's the off season going so far? Any big plans?
Off season's great. No, just normal stuff. Full-time dad, carpool, staying busy, working out, building things, starting holiday decorations now.
I like it.
Wait,
right.
can I ask?
Yeah.
When is it, like, because there's a big thing going on in my neighborhood right now. When is it too early to put up Christmas decoration or Christmas lights outside? Is there a such thing like, hey, you have to wait till after Thanksgiving, or are you one of those that's going up now?
No,
the lights are up already.
I'm flirting with it right now.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you.
I'm definitely flirting with it. I'm putting the lights up. Doesn't mean I'm going to plug them in, but I am leaving on Monday to go to Dallas to visit my brother for Thanksgiving and my nephews. And then me and my wife are actually going to St. Lucia the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So I just want to be prepared. So when my in-laws get here to watch the kids, I'll tell them to plug them in. It will be after Thanksgiving. It will be legit. But I'm definitely flirting with being too early right now.
So listen, my brothers and I, we've had this the last couple of years. It seems like my middle brother, Jeff, he tries to win in everything. And he's like, yo, lights are already up. And he had it last year. This is last year. I don't think he has them up this year yet. We're putting our lights up on Monday. So it's right before Thanksgiving. But he had them up like November 5th one year. And he goes, beat you guys. I said, oh, man. I said, dude, we got to slow down with that a little bit, dude. That's a little too early, I told him.
I mean, I love good competition, but I think that's something I'm okay losing at.
Because I think Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday because of family and everything else, turkey, stuffing, and all that kind of stuff. So,
I'm okay. I like Thanksgiving too because, like you said, it's a reason to get together with family. It's about sitting down, having a meal. But I kind of like the blending of the two holidays. I like the idea of the winter season, the holiday season. So I think it's okay to, right around Thanksgiving is the time you can start decorating your house and putting your lights up. And especially if you're hosting, I think it's okay to, have your tree up and your lights up.
Yeah, I agree. Because you never know what fluctuates when Thanksgiving is. Now, let me ask you this. When do you start like working out? Like, are you a guy like after Christmas? Are you starting now? Like, when do you start to hit? I know you're older. You're a veteran in the game. Has your routine changed? Talk to us a little about your routine, how you started and how you're doing it now. Because I was always a later guy. I'd probably be lifting right now. But other than that, I wouldn't hit till real late.
Yeah, no, it's definitely changed. I think as I've gotten a little bit older, a little bit wiser, a little bit more mature, I've embraced rest. The season's long. You're constantly active, whether you play every day where you're coming off the bench, you're still on your feet, you're still active, you're still taking a ton of swings every day. So when I get home, I try to get away from baseball, for at least a month or so. I do enjoy working out. So, once I'm home and once I got the kids in a routine and once we're unpacked and unsettled, or finally getting settled back into being home after being away for a while, I'm fortunate to have a little gym at my house. So I try to get in there every day and move around. But I would say when I get back from the St. Lucia trip, I'll start getting with my running coach, and that will kind of transition to when I start hitting, probably middle of December. And obviously with the holidays, it's hard to be consistent, but I would say once the new year hits, I'm hitting 4, 5, 6 days a week, depending on how the body feels.
So Kevin, we're going to add to this party now. Erik Kratz joining us fresh off a loss in day 2 of the big poker tournament at Borgata. Looking like he's got a lot of energy though. Kratz, what's up, dude?
I'm so skeeted out. I'm like Kevin Pillar on a base hit to left. Like just burning.
Hey, I love it.
Extra base hits are hard in this game. If you can turn a single into a double, I'm going to try.
Especially with those little steps that you take. But so far, I was listening to the whole thing. So far, all I hear is you got big league internet, you got big league casa with big league weather, and you're going to a big league vacation with your wifey.
And some big leaguers.
You're going to get your 10 years next year. But with all that, yesterday we had your uncle Sal Fasano, Uncle Sal, was on, and he might have given you the best compliment for a guy who had, kind of an average year, probably for you. Maybe, you feel like it's a little below average. The best compliment you could ever get. An absolute glue guy in the clubhouse. And to me, that means a lot because you know what? You can get some balls to fall, but you can't ever do anything about the way that your teammates and your coaches feel about you. So big props for that.
Well, I do appreciate that. Sal's a great guy and definitely a future manager in this game in my eyes. But I would say when I was kind of transitioning from being an everyday player to kind of a role player, a platoon player, I really had to think about what was important to me. And I think when I look back at my career 10, 15 years from now, I don't think anyone's going to remember Kevin Pillar from a statistical standpoint, but I think there'll be players that may tell their kids or, other players about the type of player I was, the type of teammate I was, the impact I could have inside the clubhouse or, when I get a chance to play. So I think that's the greatest compliment for me. He could have talked about, my skill set, but it wouldn't have meant as much to me as him talking about what kind of, teammate and what kind of guy I am.
Hey, stats-wise, you were part of the team Silver Slugger winning Atlanta Braves. So you were part of the best offense in baseball.
I'm hoping the Silver Slugger trophy is on its way. And, in 5 years, I'll tell my kids I won that on my own.
I love it. They won't know. Right. It's like, swinging bunt, single in the box score, whatever. So let me ask you about one dude that, probably helped with that team Silver Slugger. Ronald Acuna Jr. just took the MVP in the National League. No surprise there. So a couple subset questions I have. One is there were some people more on the number side that were like, oh, he's not a good defender. Like he doesn't have great defensive metrics. You've been a great defender for years. You saw him out there. I watched quite a few Braves games. Am I missing something? Because he looks pretty good in right field.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a really good defender. Obviously, an unbelievable arm. Has the ability to kind of slow play some balls and force some guys into, trying to take some extra bases and making up with the arm. But, I think he is a really good defender. I don't fully understand defensive metrics and how they're measured in terms of analytics, but from the eye test, he definitely passes my eye test as a guy who is a good defender out there. Yeah, I mean, I know that's the knock on him is that he's not a great defender, but sitting in the dugout, getting a chance to play beside him, I don't see anything wrong with this game out there.
So how crazy was it to play with him and watch what he did this year? And also then I'm looking at him like, and you're now going to winter ball? Like
I know. I was actually I saw the announcement. Once we put the kids to sleep last night, I told my wife, "Hey, Ronnie won the MVP," and then I watched how he celebrated, and then I saw he was in full uniform running out to play a winter ball game, and I'm like, maybe that's why he's an MVP and I'm not an MVP because he just loves the game so much. He wants to play year round. When the season's over, I definitely enjoy a break from the game. I enjoy missing the game. It's what drives me to want to come back year after year. But for him to be the best player in the National League and maybe the best player in baseball last year to go out and play winter ball games in Venezuela in his hometown is just is wild to me. It just shows how much he really loves the game. And maybe if the game was that easy for me, maybe I'd enjoy it more too.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think it's so hard for me, and when I play them, I just want to get away and not come back until it gets warm again. But
yeah, I think for most of us, I think that's kind of how we all feel. Baseball was as easy as he makes it look, and it probably is easy to him. Why wouldn't you want to keep playing? I mean, that's that's like me getting up in the morning and going through like brushing my teeth. If baseball was that easy, I would probably be playing right now too. But there's such a mental and physical grind on me that when the last out is made, I am like, I need to get away from this. I just used every ounce of physical and mental capacity I had for the last 8 months playing this game that I need to recharge.
Yeah, you've played for some really big time cities, man, over the years. What has been the best city so far for you? You think you would say? I mean, going from San Fran, Boston, Colorado, New York. I mean, you played in a ton. L.A., Toronto. What's been the most exciting and the best you've been a part of?
I mean, there's so many different ways to answer that question. You know, as far as probably my favorite's still going to be Toronto. I mean, that's the team who drafted me. You know, I played majority of my career there. Played there during a pretty special time in Toronto baseball history. You know, going almost 20 years or 20 years without getting to the playoffs, and then winning a division and getting to the ALCS and just kind of watching that city come alive um, was nothing like I had ever seen in baseball. Um, and obviously, living there pre-kids, there's not a better place to live in baseball. Being able to live, walking distance to the stadium and not needing a car and just having just such an amazing city with so much to do and such good food and there's always something going on in that city. You know, when I was there this year, I thought about what it would be like to go back with a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it would still be pretty cool. But there's definitely some challenges, living in the city. But all things considered, Atlanta's a pretty awesome place too. Such a livable city, such an unbelievable fan base, an amazing stadium to play in, great weather. Atlanta was definitely up there as one of my favorite places to play. And San Francisco, I don't think there's a more beautiful ballpark in all of baseball. Um, that was exciting for me. Even though I grew up a Dodger fan, so getting a chance to play for the Giants and be part of that rivalry was something I could only dream about being a kid. And my wife being from Northern California also helped. With her being able to drive home an hour and a half, when I went on the road and it took our daughter home. So that was a pretty awesome place as well.
KP, it would have sucked if you had kids living in Toronto. When we were in the six together, and I scored as a pinch runner on one of your base hits.
No, dude. That was my first ever walk-off hit. I wanted to bring that up.
I know, and I scored.
And you pinch ran, maybe, I think.
And I scored for you.
That's how fast you are.
I did pinch run for Deanna Navarro, so there was that. And then we played in San Francisco together. And enjoying Toronto, I think it'd probably be much better with kids. I mean, without kids. Without kids, walking around and everything, you gotta shuttle kids, try to figure out how to get food. Do you think during your time in Toronto, you were undervalued in the sense of like what you were doing in center field, and then boom, they fire you, they send you out, and then 6 seconds later they give Randall Grichuk a contract that, to me, in my opinion, I thought was yours because of all you did in the city, because of how you played while you were there, and you played a premium position at a premium rate.
Randall lives right down the street from me. You're not too far away. He's a friend of mine. I mean, I think there was a point in my time when I was on that flight and he signed that deal the same day that I got traded. I felt maybe the same way that you're expressing, like, that was the money that was maybe set aside for me from what I was able to do. I think it's a tough question to answer because I think value is an interesting thing to try to determine your own value. But I like to think that what I was doing there helped our team get to back-to-back ALCSs. I don't know. It's a tough question to ask. I'm happy with where I'm at in life. I think we all kind of come up in this game hoping that we're going to get that massive payday. We're going to get to sign a long-term deal, get to establish roots in a place. And Toronto is a place that I definitely saw myself playing my entire career, if not majority of my career. But that wasn't kind of my baseball journey. My baseball journey's been interesting to say the least. It's not exactly what I would have probably envisioned when I kind of established myself as an everyday baseball player for the Toronto Blue Jays. But with bouncing around from team to team, it's given me an opportunity to play for some pretty amazing organizations, meet a lot of great people, make a lot of great friends. So I'm not unhappy with my life. Would have life and baseball been a little bit easier if I would have found security maybe earlier in my career financially, and also a commitment from a team maybe, but I'm not unhappy.
Yeah, because you came up, you and I, we used to argue about the fact that who was the 25th man on the roster, because Tolley was the 24th man, and he had a secure position for the innings that Dickey had a pitch. And then it was you getting shipped out, me getting shipped out. In your time, you talked about the two playoff appearances that you made. Do you feel like you guys should have won a World Series there?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I feel that same. I feel the same way about this year too, with what we were able to accomplish with the Atlanta Braves. I felt like showing up in spring training this year, looking around at the talent, and then kind of watching everything fall into place, winning 104 games. Definitely felt like we were going to be the last team standing, but it just proves how hard it is to win in this sport. It doesn't, and this sport is great because it doesn't necessarily reward the team that was the best team in the regular season. It rewards the team that gets hot at the right time, and I think it's a great thing for the sport. It allows teams that are in the mix at the deadline to go out and try to add teams. It's not about winning 104 games. It's about getting an opportunity to play in the playoffs. And I think you saw with a team like the Rangers that, clinched their playoff berth on the last day. The Diamondbacks clinched the playoff berth on the last day. It just shows getting in and getting hot at the right time could take you really far. But yeah, Toronto felt like that 2015 season where, it started in the offseason with getting a guy like, Russell Martin to sign on, trading for Josh Donaldson, and then the additions you make at the deadline, Ben Revere, Troy Tulowitzki, David Price, the buzz that was in that city, the electricity that was at the games. And I just never been a part of a team until this year where every time you stepped on the field, you just felt like you were better than the other team and that you were going to win. And if we lost, we had to play our absolute worst and the team had to play their absolute best. And there wasn't this feeling like, can we win tomorrow? We just knew that we were going to win tomorrow. And that was the 2015 Toronto Blue Jays. And I think that even showed itself going down 0-2 in the playoffs, going down 0-2 to Texas. I just felt like that was the mindset of the team all year is we're better than any team we were going to face. And it didn't matter if we lost the game before the next game. We knew we were capable of winning every single time we stepped on the field. And I definitely feel I've had some time to reflect after, not advancing this year. And I still feel like the 2015 Toronto Blue Jay team is still the most disappointing loss that I've had, not winning a World Series.
So you brought up Josh Donaldson, so I want to bring up something back in 2016. If you remember or recall, you know how Josh had a big mouth to him, which was a good and bad thing to him. And he brought up to me during batting practice about talking about who's going to hit more home runs that year. So, Josh with his big mouth, hey, I'll give you 20 homers, and then he actually came down to 10. We made a friendly wager. And do you remember what I did the year after I won that friendly wager?
No, remind me.
So when you guys were stretching, I went right into the stretch line, and you're like,
oh yeah, you asked him for his check. You asked him for the check. Did you ever get paid?
Yes, I did. And that was really nice of him. And we talked. I just remember you were like, "Oh, he's looking for it." I remember you were yelling. I was laughing so darn hard.
Josh is a good friend of mine now. It definitely took us some time of being apart from each other to really kind of mend our relationship, our friendship. I think we're both just really competitive people. We both challenge each other to be great. Obviously, he was much greater than I could ever be. But I think we push each other to be great. I think he saw a lot in me, and I think he wanted the best for me. That led to a lot of confrontation, a lot of fights, a lot of arguments. So who knows, that day you came out looking for your check, if we were on good terms or bad terms, and it could have turned ugly real quick. But having Josh in the clubhouse always kept things fun, kept things interesting, kept your head on a swivel all the time because you never knew what kind of mood he was going to come in. But, I was thinking about I've been thinking about him a lot lately too, because, I got an opportunity to watch him win MVP and then watch an opportunity to watch, Ronald do it. And they kind of just did it in two different ways, but two just unbelievable talents. And it's amazing another thing that I'll probably look back in my career, 5, 6, 7 years down the line and reflect on the chance I got to be part of, two guys winning MVP seasons and just watching just dominance from spring training through the last pitch of the regular season. Both those guys were dominant, and it was fun to watch.
You got a fly buzzing around your face like it's terrible. It's bugging me. I can't handle it. Oh, nice Stanley. Is that a 40,000? Is that a 40-ounce Stanley? Did you steal that from your wife?
It's part of the dad starter kit.
That is not. That is. Your wife is pissed. She is like, "Where is my Stanley? I got to fill it up with a smoothie." And it's a left-handed Stanley. What's the deal with that? Anyway, have you watched? You're a Cali guy. Have you watched what's going on in Oakland? And what's your opinion on what's going on there? That they're going to be taking a team out of there to a market that's smaller than Milwaukee.
I think I got mixed feelings about it. Obviously, I feel bad for the city of Oakland. I feel bad for the fan base there. I think it's hard for maybe people to realize, just because we think of the Oakland A's, their recent history of not being a very good organization, a very successful organization, but that team has a ton of history. I know it's multiple World Series. I don't know exactly how many they have off the top of my head, but I know that there's a lengthy history of winning in Oakland. And I was there earlier in this year, and it was really sad to witness. There was maybe 5,000 people there, maybe 4,000 Atlanta Braves fans, and the 1,000 fans that were there that were Oakland fans were chanting "Sell the team" the entire time, and it was tough to see. And I think part of me is excited for Vegas to get a team, because I see, how successful the WNBA franchise has been there. I see how well the NFL team draws there, and obviously Vegas is an unbelievable city to go visit, for fans that want to come in and watch games, for players to come in as visiting players, and even for families that are going to get a chance to live there and be part of the organization. But I got mixed feelings towards it. I'm excited to see a new stadium be built and what kind of support the A's get in Vegas. But I think there's a lot of unknowns. Are they going to rebrand? Are they going to keep the A's name? Are they going to keep the history? Or is that going to be an organization that do the A's die in Oakland and it's just a thing of the past?
If they're smart, they'll rebrand. In my mind,
I think you should.
I think you leave the Oakland stuff in Oakland, let Vegas at least feel like, despite the owner, at least feel like it's a different team, which is what the Knights did really well. Mr. Pilar, awesome to have you on, dude. Enjoy the sunshine and the dad starter kit, and the whole skit. And Kratz, you want to say see you later to your dude?
Hey, guy, I used to pick you up on the way to the field. Okay, I don't know how you survived without me when I was not picking you up, but I'm proud of you, bud. You've come a long way, and you've had an absolute baller career. And next year, when you get your 10 years, I expect you to come back on and celebrate with the boys here.
I would love to come back on. Hey, what was the first thing I sent you when you texted me?
Oh, you said it's been. What'd you say? It's about time. I mean, this is a different issue, and I told you we've been asking for you, but that's my fault.
I'm a big fan of the show. Big fan of you, obviously. This is great. You guys are making baseball fun again. I love it.
You're the best.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That means a lot. Thank you, Kevin. We'll keep hustling every day. You too, dude.